Hello, welcome to my series about Chopin Mazurkas. Today we open a new opus, Opus 56. So we have the mature Chopin who starts his final period, so his last 6 years of life. Mazurkas Opus 56 were published 1844, so when Chopin was 34 years old, and they were composed probably 1843 and maybe the beginning of 1844. This was the time when Chopin spent most of his time in no.1 in France, together with Georges Sand and her kids and some other friends, artists, and he actually composed quite a lot of masterpieces. As you know, if you know Chopin, we have around this time we have his greatest masterpieces, as Berceuse Opus 57, Third Sonata Opus 58, Two Nocturnos Opus 55, and of course Scherzo No. 4 Opus 54, and Polonaise A flat major Opus 53. All these masterpieces written in the same time that he started to compose these mazurkas. His musical language is changing. He starts to experiment a lot. He's more and more brave in experimenting because he just doesn't care what other people, composers and critics will say about his music. His career is settled. He's settled. Everybody loves him. He has quite a lot of students and also good students. But it doesn't mean he's happy. On the contrary, it's really bad time for him in general. But about this I can tell you more in a minute. Now just let's listen a little bit to this Mazurka Opus 56 number 1. I will just play the first phrase, the first part of this Mazurka, which we can call part A. Okay, what can we hear in this part? I think if you listen carefully, you could hear maybe the dialogue of two hands, the dialogue of somebody down there and up there. Maybe you could also hear that it starts softly, piano pianissimo, and it ends in a climax. So it's building the tension and ends with the climax. And if you are a musician, you could also hear that Chopin is using the same motifs and also that he's changing keys. And let me tell you something about this. First of all, I want to explain my why I'm doing these videos and to whom I'm addressing these videos. So I'm addressing these videos not only for musicians. I would say mostly for amateurs, for music lovers, for people who want to understand better Chopin's music without having to study huge literature about music and music theory and musicology or music history and everything. I try to use as simple words as possible to explain the beauty of this music and the genius of Chopin. I'm saying about it because now I want to talk a little bit about about keys in general. So I have to tell a few words in a simple words. So if you're a musician, just please let me do it as fast as possible. Then you can continue to watch this video. So in general, we have 12 major keys and 12 minor keys. It means, what does it mean, the key? Well, it means when we have a melody, the melody is always settled in one key. One key means the 7 notes. The 8th note is the same as the first one. So it means that the melody normally is using only the notes which are in that key. If the melody changes these notes, then it means it's modulating to another key. So we have the 7 notes, and now I want to show you that every melody can be played in every key. If we have major melody, it can be played in 12 different keys. In every key, this is the same, exactly the same melody. We can sing it, and if we don't have perfect pitch, it's even easy for us to start to sing the melody from every note. I will show you the example. We have the Beethoven 9th Symphony, the Ode to Joy. Right? Everybody knows this fantastic music. I played it now in C major, which means I used only white keys on the piano. If I want to start it from another key, but I decide that I'm going to use white keys, it will never work. Why? Because in another key we need the black keys. So just I show you. Let's start from G, for example. Doesn't work. I need to use 3 black keys because the key is E flat major. So it's different. I try to do it as simple as possible and as short as possible, because to understand Chopin, to understand his language here, we need to know a little bit about keys. Now I will play for you the Ode to Joy of Beethoven in 3 different keys. Every time I will start one note under the previous one. And just listen how it will sound. The second one. And the third one, down. Right? I think it's clear. It's easy to understand. And now, just take the Beethoven. Did he compose something like this? Did he compose it in the way I just played for you? No, he didn't. He didn't, because it's impossible to change the key immediately after presenting one phrase. Everybody thought that time. Until Opus 56 and Frédéric Chopin, who is experimenting and who is creating something shocking. In this opus we will have a lot of shocking things, and this is the first one, already at the beginning. Now, this Mazurka is in general in B major, but the problem is that we don't have the B major at the beginning. The B major comes almost at the end in the forte, so we finally reach the B major. Now if you are a musician, you understand me very well. But now, what I played for you, the Ode to Joy by Beethoven, 3 times, and every time from a different key under the other one. It's exactly the same what Chopin is using here. Just listen. Second time. Third time. Right? Isn't it strange? It's really strange. So it's as if the left hand melody is lost. Well, is looking for the key in which it will sound better, the best. It's like asking, do I sound good? Or maybe B minor better? Or maybe A minor? And then maybe, oh yes, it's A minor. So the third time it seems that is the key, but it's not. But anyway, so what happened next? So listen again. Now, the right hand this is not B major, it's G major, but never mind. The right hand is asking a question. It's almost as if the right hand is asking left hand, oh, so do you feel which key you like the most? Do you like the key, the last key that you reached? Listen. And then the left hand answers, yes, I like this key, the last one. And then the right hand is saying, really? And now the right hand is playing with the left hand, is changing the key, is modulating to the key which was the first one at the very beginning. And the right hand starts to sing the same melody which left hand had at the beginning in the first key, as if he's saying, look, this is how it should sound, and you are wrong, says the right hand. And this is B major, so now finally we arrived to the key of the mazurka. So the key which the mazurka should start from it, but it didn't. I hope I'm clear. I know it's complicated. But, well, that's how complicated these mazurkas are. So let's start from the beginning. The right hand is looking for the right key to sing the melody. Second. Third. Right hand is asking, how do you like the key which you are now? And left hand answering, yes, I like it. And then the right hand, oh really? So I changed for you. Listen, and the first one was better. And now we have B major, and we arrive to some kind of patriotic hymn. Patriotic hymn sung by the choir of group of people. And then everything is being repeated again the second time. So that's how it is. After that, the second time we have part B. And just listen to part B. And then we came back to the beginning of the piece. So part B, what can we hear? Well, very fast notes in the right hand and a little bit of accompaniment in the left hand. Well, it sounds like a dance, definitely. It's to be played a little faster than the beginning, says Chopin. Poco più mosso, so it means a little faster. I don't think it should be played too fast because it's not an etude. And then it sounds too fast. Of course, I can show off with my technique and how good I am, but I don't think this is the case in this mazurka. It's not really written to show off. It's just folk Polish oberek. Yeah. Okay, and now I want to show you something funny and I think interesting for you. I found here two people, the couple dancing. Can you recognize the couple dancing here? I will try, without telling you this, I'll try to differentiate the man and woman. I will try to differentiate it as a performer as much as I can, with the hope that you can see them when they are dancing. It's a challenge, but let's just try to play. So you tell me later if you found out where the woman is dancing and where the man is dancing. Well, I hope it was clear, but of course it's not easy. We have one melody all the time, but the melody is first in the upper register and then later in another key in the lower register. And I differentiate those two registers so that I show that the lower is a man and the upper is a woman. We can imagine ourselves in the theater, and there is a show of a Polish group of dancers, and first the woman is going and dancing, and then the man is going and dancing. And how do I do it? I'm changing the dynamic a little bit and the articulation. Articulation is the way to play to play the music. We can play legato, we can play staccato, we can also play non-legato, so something in the middle. And many ways we can differentiate. So I want to have it different. And so what I do is, when I play the woman part, I play it with the very flat fingers, so that the sound is softer. I play it very delicately and very legato, because I feel that's the woman. Delicate legato, like very soft, very smooth, and very woman-like. And now the man. With a man, I change the position of the fingers to this kind of fingers, and I play the hardest part of the finger so that the color is different, and I try to lift the fingers a little bit more up so that we have a different articulation. And this way we have the same melody but in a different key, a down register, and like a man. A woman. Man. And then everything comes. So the man is the last one, right? Woman started, the man finished. Let's listen to it again, and I hope it is easy to catch the difference. And then we and then part B again. So it's very simple. The structure is simple. A, B, A, B. But the B, the second time, is a little different than the first one. And now I want you to tell me what the difference is. Just listen the part B in the second time. So what was the difference? Well, the melody is exactly the same. What is different is that at first the woman was the first one to dance. This time starts a man, so the dancer. So did you hear that? The dancer first. Then she. Then he. Then she. And now we have a very interesting part. Chopin wants to come back to the beginning. And everything will be fine because he's doing everything like he did before. But he is too much in the upper register. So he has a trouble as a composer. Because the first time when the boy was dancing, it was very easy. Just listen the first time ending. We have, and now we have like two turns, and we are back in the same key that we start the melody of A. Listen. And this note is the same. So for Chopin, no problem. But the second time, he has a big trouble. Because she is the last one. Because he decided to change. Of course, Chopin is doing this on purpose. He doesn't want to compose exactly the same B, because it would be boring. So he changes very little. Only men, then woman. Men and woman. The problem starts when the woman finishes. She is too far away and she needs to come back. So what is Chopin doing? He's using the chromatic going out down. We finish in this key, but we have to go to this key. I hope you understand. I show you. We have this. But the beginning is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 notes the difference. So what is Chopin doing? A mastery. He's just circling, doing circles until it chromatically goes to the right key. Just listen. Down. Down, 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 and now. We are back at the beginning. So I think it's really another genius moment in this mazurka. And now we have A again without any changes, and after that starts part C, which is the final part of the mazurka. And here in part C we have Chopin that we doesn't know. It sounds almost like not Chopin. It sounds like some different composer from modern times. It's not really 1844. I play for you the whole C so that you can tell me what if it sounds like Chopin for you. Well, it's a very difficult part. It's a very difficult ending, and demanding, very demanding. Well, let's analyze it, because I think it's very difficult when you listen to it first time. It's almost impossible to understand. I mean, at least this is my opinion. The beginning of part C is very full of dissonances. And this is something we don't know in Chopin. He's experimenting. Maybe, this is my theory, he's experimenting in how to express pain. When we hear something like this, we feel pain. So, and here exactly Chopin is using this. Can you imagine Chopin using such intervals? Listen. It's not a mistake. It's exactly written like this. Listen. This is Chopin. 33 years old Chopin. Incredible, isn't it? So listen again. And after this dissonant melody, we have like a Polish mazur. It's like an invitation for dancing. So listen. And now from here, Chopin is building up the tension. But this tension is, I mean, he's adding one bar extra. It's not correctly written, if I can say so. Sorry, Chopin. Well, of course, he knows better what he wants, but it's not correctly written because the harmony is being destroyed. It's destroyed completely. It should be like this. I show you. It should be. Then we will have the harmony inside ourselves while we are listening to this. If he wrote like this. But he adds one bar extra. I hope you understand me. There should be 2 bars, but there are 3 bars. So it seems like 1 bar is by mistake added here. But of course it's not a mistake. Chopin wants us to feel in quiet, to feel that something is not correct. Because that was his feeling inside his soul. Together with the dissonances which we had before, it brings us to the mood which we don't really want to be in. And after this tension, the whole dissonant part starts. We have again the melody. This is like at the beginning, when we have looking for the right key. This is exactly the same thing here. The short melody is going through many different keys. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. 6 different keys actually. And if I play it slowly, just listen to the harmonies and to the dissonant which Chopin is using here. How brave he was. Sorry. The same phrase is repeated again, but the left hand is changing. And this is probably the most divine moment when it comes to harmony. Left hand doesn't care what the right hand plays. Left hand has its own world. And very often it's in dissonance together with the right hand. It doesn't suit. Listen. After that, we have again the invitation like for a mazur, and that's how the piece ends. That's how the piece ends. Let me play for you again this last page. Very complicated harmonically in a slow tempo, because I believe that when we play slow tempo we can really experience the beauty which is deeply inside all these harmonies. This is the only moment, probably the only place on the internet, this video, when you can actually hear this part played very slowly. Usually on the concerts, of course, it's played faster. So enjoy. Isn't it beautiful? I think if you listen to it many times, then you absorb it. Another very interesting thing is that every single chord which we produce, which we hear, has different color. So this is really, Chopin is looking ahead, he's looking forward, he's looking into another century, even the next century. The music is absolutely innovative and full of experiments. So that's the reason why this mazurka is so special, and the opus, the whole opus. As you know, as I told you before, every opus of mazurkas has its own, well, DNA, we can say, the idée fixe, the theme which we can find in every mazurka of the opus. Here I found it, and it's exactly this playing with the keys which I showed you at the beginning. One melody presented consequently in a few different keys, which doesn't really suit to each other. So it's like waving around. It's a symbol that Chopin is, well, he was at that time, going to Paris for 2 weeks, coming back to no.1, going to Paris, coming back to no.1. Well, it was not, there were no cars at that time, so it was a trip. So he didn't have his own home. He was homeless in a way, with just sound, but didn't really. It started to get worse and worse also between them. And all this we can hear in the mazurka. Let me play this mazurka again from the beginning, and the whole. And I will just say during playing where we are at the moment, so that it's easier to understand. And right hand is asking. Answer left hand. And the right hand. Changing the key. And B major. And part A repeated. Then Obedek, part B, starts the woman, and then the man follows. Sorry, I played one time too much, but I enjoyed it. And then the part A comes back to the. Part B, but the man starts. Part C. Dancing. Building the tension. And now dissonant part. Yes, it's a masterpiece, definitely a very demanding piece, but the number 2 of this opus is very simple and easy to understand. And then there is a number 3, which is the most mysterious, the most difficult to understand and absorb, and the most challenging of them all. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next episodes. Bye bye.